Salutations, everybody. It is Maddie here. You. What are you doing here? Oh, I was just in the neighborhood now. And where's your mask, bro? Come on, man. No, it's too late. It's too late. You're late. You're late. No, forget it. Don't even bother. All right, Mr. Bethesda, for real. Why are you here? Well, if you recall, there was $1 million idea you kinda gave me, and it was around the time Fallout first dropped. Do you remember? I certainly do, because I took advantage of it. My idea, what does he mean? More engaging quests and focusing on quality, letting people know that we've made a good product first, and then we can maybe introduce some type of subscription fee to help bolster that fan base and give them more of what they're enjoying if they want to, without stripping away any meaningful gameplay features from those who don't want to pay. You stole my pitch to make a better game? Yes. I stole your $1 million idea, and I made all the money off of it, and you didn't get a penny for it. I think I've had enough of you, Mr. Bethesda. It's time for Anime Hair Maddie to come out and play. Wait. What are you doing? Relax. Oh, man. No, this isn't dust for my battle. Sorry, I'm just getting some of the cringe off. Give me a moment. 2020. It's been a strange year, to say the least. That might have been one of the most rhetorical things I've said in a video, so let's move on. Fallout 76 is enjoying a bit of a slight resurgence, adding to an already strange year. Things that we haven't expected are happening, so I can only imagine that KOTOR is finally going to get remastered this year. With that said, though, one of the most unexpected things to come out of gaming this year, in all seriousness, is Fallout 76 having mostly positive reviews on Steam. Yeah, if you told me this a couple of years ago when the game launched, I would have laughed in your face because there was no shot that was possible. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this today is less to flex about Wastelanders, but really, I understand people are asking, is Wastelanders really that good to go through all the crap that Bethesda had dropped in our lap and it still is making the product redeemable, or are people just kind of ignoring some of the flaws of 76 and giving it a fighting chance? Well, let's start off at the beginning of the story. You see, there was an initial review bombing when Fallout 76 came onto Steam, and it crawled its way through from the mostly negative to mixed, and now, as I said, it's at mostly positive by 75% of reviewers, bumping up from 70% when I had posted a tweet about this just a couple of days ago. Now, one thing I am a bit skeptical of is that I can't help but think Bethesda probably intentionally launched Wastelanders and the Steam version of Fallout 76 at the same time, because let's be honest, folks, if Fallout 76 launches a single day, just one day before Wastelanders, we know that game was getting review bombed to you know what, it was not coming back. Bethesda had to launch a good product alongside the Steam version of 76 to help give it a boost. And it worked. Say Fallout 76 was put on Steam at the beginning of last year. Think of everything that Bethesda did through 2019 that was ridiculous. It would have easily been one of the worst reviewed AAA games on Steam, hands down. And I'm sure Bethesda did not want to wear that wound, so they bided their time until now, where more people are open to it and we're seeing the results. But I don't want people to think like I'm saying this because I don't want 76 to succeed. You guys know I've been talking about 76 Wastelanders a ton. I'm covering Wastelanders in general. Like, I'm enjoying talking about Fallout. It's been so much fun. So I'm happy that things are well, but I think we need to read between the lines a little bit and be honest with ourselves. I think another thing that really did help 76 was Bethesda launching it at $40 alongside a classic Fallout collection. So if you do buy Fallout 76 on Steam, you're gonna get Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics. Now, I really like Fallout 1 and 2 specifically. Tactics I'm kind of meh on. Don't be like me back in 2015 and be ignorant to these games and say like, I don't need to play them, I read the wiki. Do play them, they're really good. They have excellent writing. You wanna see where Fallout was born from? Check these out. They're really good games. But anyway, that sweetens the pot a little bit, and so I could see some people biting for $40 when you get 76, Wastelanders, all the updates that have come out to Fallout 76 beforehand, plus 3 classic Fallout games if you don't already own them. Now, if you ask me, the content that I like most is just Wastelanders. Anything from the base game of 76, I really did not enjoy, and I think Bethesda could attest to some of that because they've hacked out a bunch of modes like survival mode. They took out the vault raid. They took out a lot of content from this game. So there is stuff that Bethesda put out that they just knew didn't work. So for me, when I look at the $40 price tag on Steam, I would probably not buy it for that price, maybe half of that, a little bit more, depending on how much you're really craving Fallout, how many friends are involved in the game, but yeah, not 40. But yeah, if you do buy it for 40 and you really do like it, then who cares, right? And in the mix of this new and odd Fallout 76 hype, I feel like there's been a bit of overlooking or forgetting some of the major sticking points that I'm referring to that still do exist within 76. And I say that as someone who, as I said earlier, is becoming excited for the future of this game, and I've really been enjoying Fallout 76. I don't stream for 7 hours, ever. And I played Fallout 76 Wastelanders for 7.5 hours straight. Like, guys, anyone who follows my channel knows, like, I don't really stream that often. I'm trying to do it more consistently now. But when I stream, it's usually 3-4 hours. 7. That's incredibly rare. So that's saying something. With that in mind, Fallout First, still an atrocity. When I was actually streaming Fallout 76 and organizing my stash box, I have a lot of viewers who are heavily ingrained in what's going on in 76. So they're already Fallout First members, which is fine. But a lot of them were actually complaining. They were saying, you know, it's kind of BS what Bethesda's doing with the scrap box. So for those who are unaware, Bethesda has a separate box behind a subscription paywall for Fallout 76 that allows you to store all your junk, which is a crucial component to the game, without any limitation. So you can put as much junk away as you want. And if you think about Bethesda a while ago saying, hey, we can't go ahead and increase the stash limit to as high as we want because of technical limitations, and then when they finally do take the cap off, it's behind a paywall. Come on. So while I did say I'm getting excited for the future, as someone who's also getting familiar once more with the loop of 76, I'm starting to feel a bit of the hurt of things hiding behind money. I think the Atomic Shop genuinely has improved. As I said yesterday, I'm getting a lot more items, but you still have items like the refrigerator, which cycles in and out, scrap kits, repair kits, which aren't the worst because there's in-game options that are way easier and you can obtain them by killing like a Scorch Beast Queen and so on. But it just adds to some of the mess. And then you have the end game, which is still pretty weak and demands tons and tons of farming. So there is issues there. I'm not saying this to bring people down. I need to emphasize it again, because anytime I start to dabble in the negative side of 76 and be critical, which is something you should be, I feel, of something you like or a brand you like, people start to lose their minds. So I'm happy that Fallout 76 has a 75% on Steam. But for me personally, I want to make sure when someone's looking at that 75% on Steam, if they see this video, they're being informed on some of the things on the other side. That it's not just like, whoa, Wastelanders must have really kicked this thing up a notch. It did in a number of ways, but once you finish that story content, it kind of starts to present some of the same old problems from before, which is the end game, the grinding. But regardless, I'm happy people are enjoying 76. I'm enjoying it. Wastelanders has been a treat. And I do say this as someone who's acquainted with a few folks over at Bethesda. There's a big sigh of relief over there over the reception of Wastelanders, that maybe we're seeing 76 turn the corner a bit. The thing with Bethesda now is, as I've always said, they really need to keep up the pressure. They need to keep releasing good, polished updates that add life to the game. Now is not a time to snooze. This is where you put your foot on the gas and you gain some miles with your fans. You earn people back, because what we've seen between Doom Eternal and Wastelanders is that Bethesda just needs to deliver products that are good, and we will gladly play them. That's not to say that Wastelanders is perfect, but Doom Eternal, when it comes to FPS games, holy smokes, it's close. So hopefully through a really horrible 2019, Bethesda has maybe learned their lesson that, hey, if we just take our time, they delayed Doom, they delayed Wastelanders, both came out pretty solid, both came out with great reviews. I think that maybe they can look at this and say, hey, let's just go back to taking our time. This is what we want, Bethesda. So that's sort of why I wanted to end up stressing with this video. I'm really happy that people are enjoying Wastelanders. I think there's a bit of reading in between the lines with it, but ultimately Bethesda may be turning a little bit of a corner here. We'll see. All it takes is one action to send them back down the list, but I just hope that 2019 ends up being that fluke year where you go, man, Bethesda was just out to lunch in 2019, man. It wasn't that wild, and it's just some crazy memory, but who knows? Time shall tell. Leave it in your hands. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Those links are in the description down below. Big thank you to all the patrons who continue to support this recent spurt of Fallout content. Appreciate y'all, and I'll talk with you soon. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.